Frank, big time boxing comes back
Big
to
time.
Liverpool. And look, big time. And Nick Ball, the Wrecking Ball, Liverpool's new hero. Exciting times.
Look, he's the most exciting fighter in the world, you know, for the amount of shots that he throws, for the action. It's all action. As soon as the first bell goes, he's just on you all the time, letting punches go. He's got a good defence as well. People don't think he's just some guy who just walks forward. He slips punches. He's a very, very smart boxer. But he's exciting. Two big fights within a space of 10 weeks in Riyadh, part of the Riyadh season. Got robbed in the first one where he fought the best featherweight in the world, and he won that fight. That's a terrible decision. And he certainly won the second fight, as we know, and he got that one. There should be 2 belts on the line against Rios on the 5th of October here. But this is what it's all about. It's a homecoming for him. You know, this is the first time there's been a male title fight in Liverpool since 2019. I think it's the first world title fight we put on here since 2016.
It's been a while.
So it's a long time. So we're back in Liverpool. We're back with Nick, with a lot of guys from his stable, with Andrew, Brad, lots of other good fighters from around the world. But this is a hotbed of boxing in the Northwest. And we're going to do here what we did many years ago in Manchester, where we turned it into the capital of British boxing, all the big fights. And as we've done recently in the Midlands, where we've gone from those smaller venues into bigger venues, and we're in the biggest venue now doing these Magnificent 7 shows up there. So it's a fabulous time for boxing, and we're committed to doing stuff here in Liverpool, working with the people such as Paul Stevenson, in ensuring that all these guys' dreams come true.
Well, Nick Ball's dream so far has come true. He's the champion. What you mentioned there, over 10 weeks he boxed 2 fellas called Ray, who are very, very good, right? But before that, November, just a few months before, it was Isaac Dogbay.
Correct.
High level of opposition.
Well, he fought the best. They're the best. You know, he fought 2 world champions, undefeated. Isaac Dogbay, done a job on him. Can't do no more than that. He's the best featherweight in the world, bar none.
What is the goal? Obviously, Ronnie Rios next, and you've heard him at the press conference. He's coming to fight. This means the world to him. What's your kind of 12 months that you've got in your head with Nick Ball?
Well, he comes through, and we'll look at other opportunities, maybe unification or other big fights. But let's get this one out of the way first of all, because this one is the one that counts. Ronnie is coming to fight. He's had nearly double the amount of fights that Nick's had. He's had much more experience than Nick, and he's challenged for a world title twice in the past. He's a good quality operator, but he's in with the best.
Well, there's the thing, Nick still needs to be on his A game, but he's not the sort of fighter that will suddenly take his eye off the ball, pardon the pun kind of thing. He'll know that he needs to be at his best for Ronnie Rios.
Yeah, Nick's. We only got to look at him today. These guys, you know, they're fit as butcher's dogs. I mean, there's nobody fitter than them, and he knows that, Nick. I mean, when I was doing the face-off, I'm looking at the two of them, and I can see it in his eyes, and also Ronnie. But I can see in Nick's eyes, you know, the determination, and he wants it. I mean, he'd like the fight to be tonight.
Well, yeah, he definitely would. He's got that Andrew Cain as well. But tell me about the first time that you met these guys. I think they were all together at the same time. Nick Ball, Brad Strand, Andrew Cain as well. What's your memory of first meeting these guys?
I remember meeting Paul and the enthusiasm Paul had for him. He's a manager as well as their trainer, and you know, and he's a very good trainer. There's no doubt about that. And I was impressed by it, and certainly them. They're like, you know, they're all sort of pretty, you know, got their sort of like sense of humour, but they're not outgoing type of guys, are they? They're a pretty menacing little bunch. But I liked them, and you know, it took us a while because I think we had some problems with COVID and changing our TV channel at the time and whatever. But we did all that, and it's all paid off because we worked together. They've done brilliantly. Well, he's done brilliantly as a manager and a trainer. He's very astute. We've done well as promoters, and they've done brilliantly by delivering in the ring. And it's been a good team effort, and we are where we are now.
A lot of brilliant trainers across the country. It feels like Paul perhaps hasn't got the recognition that he necessarily deserves, but he's maybe started getting it now. He's got a world champion.
Yeah, anyone in boxing knows that he's a good bloody trainer. He's a good trainer. Of course, he's a good trainer, and he's done it. He's done it like a lot. You know, listen, all these guys, they put a lot of hard work into this. You know, it's spending your life in the gym with these kids. You know, working with them, training them. You've got to get a close relationship, the rapport that you've got to build, the trust that they have in each other. And the trust they put in us. And, you know, he's not a stupid man. He knows his boxing, and he knows his boxing, Paul, and I really do enjoy working with him.
Andrew Cain, first defence of his British and Commonwealth titles. He won so dramatically against Ash Lane. He's got Joshua John, who's never been stopped, who says he's now competing at his correct weight. Great fight.
It's a great fight. I mean, he fancies it, doesn't he? He said that. And so does Andrew. And Andrew, I mean, his mojo last time out, didn't he? He looked bloody good. And he did look good. So it's going to be a really good fight. 2 belts on the line. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it.
He looked good, and that was with, like, I think he sparred once in camp. He had some issues once in camp.
Correct.
Ring rust and stuff that as well. Feels like
that's
there's
all
so
out
much
the
to
system
come.
now. Now he's in front of his fans in his home city, so that should get more out of him as well. And as you say, with Josh, he fancies the fight, and it's a chance for him. It's a big chance that, you know, whoever comes through this fight will probably fight for the European next.
Well, he fancies a. You know, he'll fight anyone, Andrew Cain, but a couple of names I put to him, obviously, Charlie Edwards, Paul Butler as well. He's from around these parts.
Yeah, that'd do. I'd make that. Yeah, I'd do that. And Paul's got a wealth of experience. I mean, you know, Andrew, what's he got, about 11, 12 fights now?
Andrew, yeah.
11, 12. So it's not a lot of fights. I mean, you know, when you look at it and you look where they are and the amount of fights they've done extremely well.
Very good. And also, you know, there's talk of Inoue, if he goes up to featherweight, he could meet Nick Ball. Inoue's got a younger brother who's a world bantamweight champion. You could have
it's interesting,
the brothers against Ball and Cain.
Yeah, it's very interesting, yeah.
Henry Turner, Jack Rafferty. Henry, we've been with since the very first day.
Yeah.
Big fight.
Well, you know, Henry's with us. Was he 13-0?
Yeah.
13-0. And the other guy's, is it 24?
It's 23-0.
23-0, whatever it is. So he's got more experience, Jack, but Henry's, you think his last 4 or 5 fights, he stopped all his opponents, so he's matured a bit. He's only still a youngster, and he's matured, he's got his strength now, and he's looking the goods, and this is going to be the fight which will determine what he's all about. You know, and Jack's done it the hard way. He's had to do it on a smaller hall circuit, but that sometimes is good grounding. So he'll be looking the fact that he's fighting on a big show, televised show. He'll be looking to make some impact. It's a great fight. Yeah,
sometimes that puts the chip on the fighter's shoulders when they're on the small halls. Yeah. It should be me up on the big stage.
Yeah.
It's a great fight. Away from Liverpool then, just a couple of things. We are edging closer to Joshua versus Dubois. We've just shown you a few Daniel Dubois knockouts. And it feels like there is a bit of a shift in the public opinion towards this fight. I'm seeing more and more people start to pick Daniel now. Are you seeing that? You feeling that?
I fancy him. I wouldn't put him in the fight. You know, well, having said that, it's basically become a mandatory defence of the IBF title. But look, it's a good fight. It's a natural fight. 2 Brits. They're both big punchers, big punchers. Both have got a couple of losses on their records. And will there be a change in the guard as far as they're concerned? We know, will that baton be passed over? A lot of people fancy Ajan. He looks at those knockouts just now against Ngannou. You know, he's more than capable. But whoever gets hit first has to take that power. Because what happens with big punchers, when they throw their shots, right-handers, whatever, they throw their right hand, you're committing yourself. Once you let that shot go, you're exposed to the counter punch. And whoever comes back with a hurtful punch, I'm not saying that, you know, going to come back and knock you out straight away, but whoever gets caught with a punch that hurts, what's their reaction going to be to it? Are they going to go on the back foot? We'll see.
Do you think this is the biggest puncher that Joshua has faced since maybe Klitschko?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And seeing those knockouts is probably
I think he knows it. Don't worry about that. Listen, he knows him. He sparred with him. I mean, there's this big debate what happened in that sparring, and I've heard two versions of it. And I've heard the version that one of the reasons we signed him and I sponsored him was because of what I was being told, and that was from people who were there.
And he doesn't want to get into that, Daniel. We've tried.
No, because I think he's. I get that and I understand that. But at the end of the day, that was them. But the thing about it, how I look at that was a 17-year-old kid at the time, in with a fellow who was, what would he be, 24, 25, gold medalist, etc. He's got stronger. He punches harder now. He's matured, and he seems mentally stronger. He's a much more mentally stronger guy, and I see that in Hrgović, because he talks a lot about what he'd done to him, which weren't the case, by the way. I heard that they didn't spar once, they sparred about 4 or 5 times, and apparently they were very tough sparring for both of them. But Hrgović, who came out and looked very good earlier on in the fight, catching him with them right hands. I mean, he gritted his teeth and got back into it, and he busted him up, and I think it was the end of the 5th round. I thought he was about to stop him, and the referee, whatever happened, the bell went, and then he had to stop it. I mean, he busted him up. He showed what he was all about. And he was an underdog then. And he was an underdog against Miller, and he was an underdog against Usyk.
So maybe it's time to back the underdog, huh? October 12th, the final one, Frank. October 12th, the Riyadh season, the first show of the new Riyadh season. The undercard has been announced, so Beterbiev Bivol at the top. And last night we saw all these brilliant fights get announced. Exciting times. Very
exciting times. I mean, the Riyadh season is like, the main event is a fabulous main event. You've got 4 belts on the line, unification, 2 undefeated fighters, the best, both of them are the best in their weight division. So that is just a fabulous, fabulous fight. And then you said, unbelievable undercard. First time a woman's world title fight in Saudi Arabia as part of the Riyadh season. They specifically asked for that to happen, which is brilliant. Mm-hmm. That's brilliant, not just for boxing, but it's brilliant for women. You've got the rematch of the heavyweight fight, Fabio Wardley against Fraser Clark. Fabio's coming with us, so I'm looking forward to that one. There's some great fights on there.
Yeah, I mean, that heavyweight fight, as people's imagine, it's round 13, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And Raven Chapman's been talking for ages. She wants this fight with Sky Nicholson. She's got it. Stylistically, one of the best fights that you can make out there.
Well, she looked great in her last fight. I mean, they're both very good fighters. You know, both of them are very good fighters, and she looked good in her last fight. And I know she won most of the rounds, but it was the amount of punches they were throwing were unbelievable. Unbelievable amount of punches. I mean, I think it came up into the statistics on there that there was like, I don't know, like record amount of punches thrown by both of them for a fight, but they were 2-minute rounds.
Yeah. Her volume is going to be a lot to deal with. Frank, I'm going to let you go. You've got a train to catch, but we'll see you when we're looking at you.
Good man.